Hey guys, really quick before we start today's episode. We're talking about Indie Pogo and its Kickstarter, but at the time of this upload, they've actually made their goal. But I still encourage all of you to go and donate anyway. If they make it to 50,000, you can play this game on PS4 and Xbox One. Unfortunately, the Nintendo Switch port is really high in price, but that's because the game engine this is built on is not compatible with the Switch. If they were to reach the goal, they would have to rebuild the entire game engine to do so, hence the high price tag. Still, getting this game on consoles would be a huge victory anyway. So I say donate anyway and try and hit that PS4 and Xbox One goal. Alright, enough of my rambling. On with the show!
I'm gonna be the king of the voiceover show!
Hello everybody, and welcome again to the voiceover show. As usual, I'm Lenny, and as usual, that's Xavier. Today we're doing something a little new. Something called the Creator Spotlights. Xavier, can you explain?
Absolutely. So the Creator Spotlight is where we take creators that do anything awesome, as in video games, art, marketing, anything creative, something super cool, kind of like what we do, and we bring them on here to talk about what they personally have going on and what they're working on.
We're all creators here, and we're here to honor our fellow creators. And with us today is a very special guest, one of the creators of Indie Pogo, Trevor Lowe. Come on out, man.
What's up, man?
Hey, nice to meet you.
How's it going? Here, have a seat.
Trevor.
Hey, thanks.
It's great to have you here, Trevor.
It's nice to be here. I'm loving the studio.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We got everything at Target.
No, I don't believe that was some of these awesome toys I see here.
Nah, I had to steal some of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's roll right into it.
Sure.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here. This is actually, we've already talked about this behind the scenes, but very close to my hometown, which is,
Yeah,
about
we're
15 minutes
actually-
away here. So I was really excited to get the Twitter message from you.
Yeah, we're actually very close in terms of location.
Mm-hmm.
So, Trevor, we'd like to begin all the obvious questions out of the way first.
Sure.
How did you get into Indie Smash Brothers?
Sure. Well, should I explain what the game is first for
Yes,
the
of
audience,
course,
if they're not
please.
familiar?
Explain
Okay,
Indie
so
Pogo.
right. So Indie Pogo is a 2D platform brawler, which is what we're calling the genre, if you will.
It's a genre.
Yeah, it's a crossover game with a bunch of indie characters, which I think we just missed the character select here. But you've got Shovel Knight, you've got Commander Video from Bit.Trip. We actually just on Twitter got Octodad, a couple other super cool cameos that I'm working on, finalizing the contracts with. So
Anything you can reveal to us today?
unfortunately, no.
I had to try.
I'm waiting for the email that I'm assuming is going to come today. If it comes in the next 20 or so minutes, I'll let you know.
I had to try. Continue.
Anyway, so I believe the question was, how did I get into this?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have been a game designer for a while. I went to grad school at UCF for video game design. Got a job straight out of school to work for Zynga. Wasn't super happy with a lot of their policies as far as with copying ideas. They called it fast following. Wasn't a super big fan of that. I didn't pay $33,000 to get a degree in game design to copy someone else's ideas. So I kind of just left there, decided to do my own thing. At the time, I was playing an iOS game called Slam Bots, and I just remember playing it thinking, wow, this would be really fun if it was multiplayer, And it kind of evolved from there. It's, we added a bunch of cameos, we added, additional attacks, dodging, so on and so forth, super attacks. So it kind of evolved and got more Smash-like as it went. The idea wasn't necessarily, well, I'm going to make a game that's an indie crossover, Smash-esque game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some games that basically, give us some titles that inspired you, that
Sure.
you love, that you see yourself creating, we're obviously not taking anything, but inspiring you to create
Sure.
to get to Indie Pogo.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned before, Slam Bots is one of those.
Okay.
It's an iOS arcade auto-jumping game. And as I mentioned before, as we were testing it, my brother and myself, Jaren, as we were testing it, we realized, this needs an air jump, or it needs an up aerial attack, or it needs a neutral aerial attack. It needs supers and combos, and it got a little bit more Smash-like as it went. So that was, one of the inspirations. The humor and the tone, the cartoony flavor to it, if you will, is inspired by Legend of Mystical Ninja for the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
It's very, upbeat. It's kind of, quirky and charming. And then the last one is League of Legends. The fact that they have characters with only 4 attacks, but there's so much depth in what those movesets can do. We draw a lot of inspiration from that. Just the way that our characters' different abilities kind of communicate with each other.
Yeah, you don't get more cartoony than a buff fish with biceps.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous.
He's definitely one of the crowd favorites.
Yeah.
So, why Kickstarter?
Well, being an indie developer isn't exactly easy. It's financially a strain, you know. In order to work on this game full-time, or at least close enough to full-time to get the game done before a decade passes, you know, we need to have some sort of financial stability. I actually recently got into a car accident. I'm fine, you know, just totaled my car though. And so that I was already under a pretty big financial strain. And so that was kind of just the icing on the cake to where I was gonna, well, if the Kickstarter does not succeed, I will have to go back and get a job, meaning I don't know exactly when the game will come out, if it will come out, which I think would be a real big shame because there are a lot of people who are really looking forward to something like this, you know, so.
Yeah, an indie game of this caliber has been a dream for a lot of people, myself included.
Sure.
You seem to be getting a lot of support on Kickstarter, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been really pleased with the feedback. I mean, there's always going to be the 1 or 2, especially on Reddit.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, Reddit.
Reddit's a nightmare.
Yeah, but I mean, just so many people who have been saying so many kind things about the game, you know, streamers who've been testing out the demo who they just really enjoy playing it and they're really championing it, you know, and really speaking in our favor. You know, I don't pay them to say those kind of things.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I don't even ask them to. I just say, hey, just do me a favor, throw out a, you know, a shout out to the Kickstarter if it's something you enjoy. And so far, it seems like everyone who's played it has had a good time with it. So
We definitely had a good time with it.
good.
Yeah, I wrecked Lenny. Yeah, I never let him. That's 2 challenges. So I never let him live that down. And he played it before me. And the rule is like we're supposed to be like 50-50 on everything. And he was like, I know he was binging it before I got here. Yeah, I know it. So I got there, I got on
Based
it.
on my conversation with him earlier, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe his
yeah.
binging.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely wrecked him. So it felt good. I did it for you guys. Yeah, you. So,
Fun fact, apparently you two went to high school together.
yeah.
And that's why I say it was so funny, the whole small world aspect
Oh,
of it,
it's
just
tiny.
because, you know, I was in South Florida up until the hurricane. I've been staying with my brother in Orlando. So when I got the message from you guys that you were an hour away, I was like, oh, where are you at? Palm Coast.
I know.
Awesome. Like
Yeah, we literally graduated the same high school together.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You graduated like a year apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of the demo, which you mentioned a little earlier, have you ever considered making the demo public like what Indivisible did?
If you're talking about just purely during the duration of the Kickstarter, we considered it. The reason why we chose not to is just because the amount of troubleshooting we're going to have to do, just because there are so many different kinds of computers and everything. It's not so much that we think the game is that unreliable or buggy, but just the amount of troubleshooting that we would have to do with answering questions. You know, we're already pretty swamped. We're just 2 dudes making a Kickstarter. You know, I'm still doing all the art, like as you see, all the sprite, the pixel reveals with all the new characters. Most of those are being done between updates. So I've got my hands full with that, answering messages, sending demos out to streamers, general advertising on social media. So I would love to be able to just time-wise, I can't do it all, you know?
Yeah.
That actually leads me to something else we wanted to talk about. You do all of the pixel art for the game.
Yeah, I do the pixel art. I'm self-taught. I did the majority of the design of the game. I don't want to take full credit because, again, my brother does QA testing, you know. My programmer obviously has his input as well since he's, you know, building the game. Yeah, I do that. A lot of the audio, I don't want to say audio design, but because a lot of the sound effects and voices that we use are clips from their original games for authenticity's sake. But, you know, it's always a challenge trying to figure out what audio is going to go best with what. And then I do all the marketing and all the social media as well. So you wear a lot of hats as an indie developer, which is another reason why Kickstarter's definitely helping out.
Who would you say is your favorite character so far?
Oh, you're going to get me in trouble here.
No.
Well, you're talking about, I assume, of the playable fighters in Indie Pogo.
Oh, yeah, gameplay style.
Yeah, so Zorby is my personal favorite as far as the development story, just because he was the second one that we built. And he was the first character where we started to realize, hey, if we have the different attacks kind of communicate with each other, like you can throw the axe up in the air and eat it, or, you know, you can stomp your own axe, or how your neutral changes if you don't have the axe, you know, all those different communications. that was when I first made the kind of connection with League of Legends. Like, oh, you can have all this, we call it communicative design, where the movesets are all interacting with each other to create meaningful choice that adds depth to the gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was the first character who really set that precedent for us. And then we kind of retroactively went back and kind of added some of that. Blockman was the first character. So that's when we added in the kick, so that he can kick his own blocks around. But that was a moment where I was like, wow, this is really cool. I understand what the game is because of this character.
Of course.
I know Xavier was favoring Penelope during our fights.
Yeah.
Well, she's got some great communicative design as well. She can leave the mines on the stage and teleport next to him, or she can shoot him with her bullets to make it bigger.
And it's funny because it's very complicated for like a pixel, like 8-bit style video game, right? So it's like, that's good. So it's like you don't get lost in any of that. You're still totally captivated in it, while still enjoying like such a classic style of video games.
We're going to take a break very soon, but before we do, now that you're a captive audience, can I run some ideas by you?
Of course.
I'm sure you get that all the time on Twitter, but...
Oh, God.
Okay. I am bread.
Uh-huh.
Would you like the bread slice as a fighter?
I would do a trophy. I don't know how I could make a moveset.
What about a stage, a kitchen counter stage where if you touch the floor, you get bounced back up and take damage? Kind of like with the lava and Rumbo.
Yeah. It's interesting. I honestly don't know that much about it. I know that it's kind of similar to Octodad, where it's kind of like those
crazy
physics
controls.
Simulator kind of. Yeah. I'll look into it.
Bendy and the Ink Machine?
That's a really popular one that I've gotten on Twitter a lot. Definitely something that I'm looking into. I'm not sure if that would be a character or stage, but I'm definitely, it's on my radar.
Yeah.
All right. Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah. Gimme. Yeah, I was a really big fan of Banjo Kazooie to begin with. And so when they first announced their Kickstarter, I was all about it. And I know Shovel Knight's in Yooka-Laylee, so maybe we can work out some sort of association there. But yeah, it'd be cool. We also don't have any sort of character where it's a duo working together. We've tried something similar to Ice Climbers. It was actually with Shovel Knight. We attempted doing something where Shovel Knight and Shield Knight kind of worked together.
Ooh.
And it ended up not working out so well in the sense that it was just kind of overcomplicated for his character. But I think with Yooka-Laylee, we can make that work in a way a little bit different from the way that, like not quite the Ice Climbers aspect, but more of just a teamwork moveset.
What about Cuphead? That's coming out as of this filming tomorrow.
Yeah, actually I'm a big fan of Cuphead. I would be very okay with that.
Would you make a stage or put him as a fighter?
Probably a fighter. Yeah, he's definitely got that mascot quality. That's one of the things that we look for in a playable fighter is, do they have some sort of recognizable quality?
Yeah.
Something that we learned in grad school. It's actually I believe it was a Disney employee who came and gave a speech. So I'm sure it might relate to some of the stuff that you guys have talked about in the past. But they always said, when creating a good character, you always want to make sure that they have a really unique silhouette. Cuphead's definitely one of those characters. And then the way that kind of tied into game design is, if you take that mindset of, if you can create something that's recognizable from afar and apply that to other aspects, whether that be sound design, whether that be stage design, whether that be game design, mechanics, something that someone can instantly look at that and say, oh, that's Indie Pogo, auto jumping fighter, right? Yeah. That's definitely something where, it was a big inspiration to me. So anyway, going back to Cuphead, definitely got that mascot quality.
Yeah. All right, let's get one of the big ones. Five Nights at Freddy's. That's probably your most requested one.
It's up there. I would say the most requested is definitely Shantae. But that's a very polarizing character, if you will. I personally think it would be both hilarious and cool because it's a very big indie character. I think I could make a moveset out of it. I understand why there are people who would hate that.
Would you prefer a character or a stage for that?
Honestly, a stage. I think we could do, because jump scares, that's like the thing, right?
Yeah.
And you spend a lot of time going through a very, I don't want to necessarily say iconic place, but a very stylized location,
Yeah.
I think that would be, I don't know what its gimmick would be, but just the sense of it's a recognizable environment. I definitely think there'd be something cool there to explore.
All right, we'll end on one more big one. Let's get it out of the way. Undertale.
Oh, absolutely. The issue there is Toby Fox, from what I hear, I can't confirm that, I haven't spoken with him, Toby Fox is not super fond of Undertale cameos in other games. So we would definitely have to have all of the big names before I think he would even consider it. So I've not personally tried to reach out, but obviously people on Twitter have been pretty consistent in asking for, hey, get Sans in here.
I got like a million suggestions, but if I did, we'd be here all day.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to challenge the creator to his own game.
Let's do it.
Hey, do you like shirts? We've got shirts! Right now at thevoiceovershow.com/store, you can pick up one of our great shirt designs. We have sales on a fairly regular basis, and new designs are always being worked on behind the scenes. But these designs aren't just limited to shirts, you know. You can get them on laptop cases, phone cases, hey, even a mug if you want to. Go grab one for yourself, grab one for your friends, grab one for your dog. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life. Again, that's thevoiceovershow.com/store. Alright, enough of that, back to the show. Welcome back, guys. We're here with Trevor. We're going to challenge the creator to his own game.
Yeah, they're gonna lose.
Get wrecked.
So, is there anything new here?
Yeah, actually, this is, I believe, one of the first times we're showing off Lilac.
Ooh, you heard it here, folks. The first footage of Lilac.
Yeah, so if you want, you can go ahead and be her.
I think I will.
This is also first time playing.
What's that? Oh,
Nice, Xavier.
Alright, so also first time playing with another player.
Yeah, our first 3-player match.
It's a bigger stage. It's gonna get a little hectic.
So this will be an online game, right?
Yeah, it already has online functionality. It's not in the current streamer demo, but it's something that we have all the functionality. We just don't have the matchmaking in yet.
Ooh, nice, cool. And I'm already gone.
Oh, Lilac, where'd you go?
I keep getting knocked off the stage.
Yeah, that tends to happen. So,
There goes Dorby.
for those who haven't seen the game before, you have health as well as a knockback factor that's not displayed to the player. So even though you're taking damage and you can get KO'd by losing all your health, you're also higher risk of being knocked off the stage the more damage you take.
Right.
So for the characters who can heal, they can heal their own HP.
Yeah.
But their knockback stays the same, so they're still at just as high of a risk of
Okay.
being knocked off, which...
Super. Oh, wow. Oh, I love that.
Can you use the super once you get it?
You have to have... you have one. You push the Y button, the yellow button.
You know, the big one
There
at the
you
top,
go.
Xavier. And I'm down.
And I killed myself.
And I love
Oh,
that.
you're done. You're done, Ski.
I love that the ref from Wrestling is up there.
Yeah, it's a little condescending sometimes. But that's true to his character.
I know he kind of looks like the purple guy from Five Nights.
You know, when we've been streaming the game, well, not we, when other people have been streaming the game and I've been on the streams watching, I can't tell you how many times people said, "Oh, is that purple guy?" And it's like, sure.
There's your Five Nights, folks.
Yeah, I'll let them believe it. Which is funny because Wrestling has over 1 million downloads. Oh, sorry, buddy.
It's alright.
Well, he's not the creator for nothing.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized. Do you guys know about taunts?
I figured out one during, I think, our match.
Okay, I'll show you how to do it. Yeah. It's basically anytime you attack someone, you have I think it's like a 2 or 3 second window where if you use the C stick in any direction, it does one of the taunts.
Cool.
Oops. Sorry. Oh no, someone press B.
Why don't you show off Lilac since you're the creator? I'm going back to Shovel Knight. Yeah, little shorts. Ooh.
What's that, Rumbo?
No, the one next to it. Retro Zone.
Oh, yeah.
Station.
Yeah. This is from the Bit.Trip series.
Hey Lenny, I wasn't sure why, but you were in 3rd place. What's that mean? Oh,
Shut up!
Oh, that means he lost, right?
Does that mean you broke it?
Oh my
Like, is that good? I didn't know.
Xavier, I swear I know where you live.
And then it dawned on me
there
that
you go.
It dawned on me I might not actually be the best lilac player out there.
I love it. I love Shovel Knight's bounce. So the fishing hook, can you pull up anything else besides health?
No, we thought about that. We think it'd be a cool idea, but just for the sake of time, no, not yet. Right now it's just a fish.
Yeah, I getcha. So, how do you decide what things to put into Shovel Knight's moveset if you have all the relics?
Yeah, it's actually a combination of things. The biggie is what kind of stuff we already have in the game prior to it, you know?
Yeah.
The first two characters probably are a little bit more simple than some of the newer characters, in the sense that Blockman, his down arrow is just a straight pile drive, you know? That's a lot less complicated than Shovel Knight's hook, where he, you know, can drop the anchor, he can pull it back, he can fish something off the side of the platform, so... we kind of just went with what are some of the more recognizable relics and what can we do with them to make them, you know, feel unique in comparison to the other characters.
What about like the Dust Knuckles?
Thought about it. We had a really hard time picking his up aerial, to be honest, because he doesn't have anything, at least in the primary campaign, where it's all about, you know, upward recovery. And so we kind of did an adaptation of the propeller dagger and kind of mix that with the infinite dagger from the, I believe it was the Amiibo campaign.
Oh, yeah. You hope for, if you make the Nintendo Switch goal, you're going to get Amiibo for this game?
Oh, that'd be awesome. You know, I actually saw a tweet from them, what was it, a couple days ago, maybe a week ago, where they said, oh, if any game developer wants to have some sort of Amiibo support with the Shovel Knight Amiibo, or I think they announced some new Amiibos as well, to let them know. So if we do end up going down that road, I'll at least look into it, yeah.
All right, let's get in one more match here.
Sure. Sorry, should I not win this one?
You know what? Okay.
I'll be... I'll pick one of my harder characters.
Can we add a CPU just so I can see
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
It's
4
gonna
player.
get crazy. We'll do Runbow to make it extra zany. I'm assuming you guys tried all the stages at least once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Rumbo stage.
Yeah. It's definitely,
I saw on Twitter you were debating a Crypt of the Necro Dancer stage.
Yeah, the trick there is just trying to figure out how to make it unique. I had the idea of, you know, the platforms disappeared to be the music, or reappeared to be the music. But then someone pointed out, well, that's not that different from
Rumbo, you're right.
Runbow with the colors, you know. So, yeah, that, is it lagging a little bit? Yeah, a little bit.
I think we're good though.
It's that OBS.
Ow, ow, no, why? I regret everything. Ah. Have you thought of adding like a timer to how long a player can stay in their bubble before popping back out again?
You know, it's funny, everyone asks that, and there actually is one. It's only like 5 seconds, but everyone seems to pop it before that time comes up.
Because I feel like being able to start from anywhere kind of gives whoever just died an advantage, you know?
Yes and no. When you think about it, they also just died, so they're at a disadvantage.
True.
And every character, or sorry, every player has the same amount of time that they can appear in a bubble. So it does kind of even itself out. But yeah, I've seen quite a few people asking about, you know, hey, why is the bubble permanent? Well, it's not.
Oh, I didn't even notice until now the other computer's commanded video also.
Yeah, you're the black one?
Yeah, I'm the black one. The original. I love the particle effects on Star Drop.
On his head, yeah.
I'm just all over the place.
I'm not doing well.
I love video's dive kick there.
His neutral?
Yeah.
Or the off the spring?
The side kick.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I also saw you're gonna throw a dive kick in there a little bit too.
Yeah, so what we're thinking about doing with the poll, and this is not anywhere set in stone.
Yes, for those who don't know, there's actually a poll going on to pick a fighter for this game.
And I lost. Yeah, so currently the bullets from Enter the Gungeon are way, way, way in the lead. we're thinking about doing the top 2, which would be currently right now the bullet and dive kick.
Who won?
You won.
What's up? Did I break it? What's the number 1 mean? Is that a good thing? I'm confused.
And there I go. I face planted.
You got
Oh man.
Okay, we'll be right back,
That's
guys.
weird. Did I? You broke it?
All right, Trevor, we had fun. We played the game. We had some chatting time.
Yeah.
Before we go, we like to give all of our walk-on guests a parting gift that we hand make.
Cool.
And for you, I made your character, Star.
That's awesome.
Out of
I love
Furlough
it.
Beads.
That's great. That's going on the Kickstarter, by the way. Okay. Cool,
awesome.
man. Yeah.
Trevor,
well
thank
done.
you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem.
I wish you all the luck on your Kickstarter.
Super cool. I'm
Thank
gonna do
you.
some
Please
research.
support this game. We're going to put a link in the description, and we'll see you guys next time.